This episode is brought to you by Skinny Pop Popcorn. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Oh, so light and crunchy. Skinny Pop Original Popcorn is the snack you've been searching for. Made with just 3 simple ingredients: popcorn kernels, sunflower oil, and salt. Snacking never felt or tasted so good. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Give yourself permission to snack and pick up Skinny Pop Original Popcorn today.
Auto insurance can all seem the same until it comes time to use it. So don't get stuck paying more for less coverage. Switch to USAA Auto Insurance and you could start saving money in no time. Get a quote today. Restrictions apply.
Hop, hop, hooray! Nordstrom Rack's got sweet deals on everything Easter, which is Sunday, March 31st. Get to Nordstrom Rack now and save on Kate Spade New York, Too Faced, Steve Madden, Calvin Klein, and more from just $30. Score great brands and great prices on Easter looks for everyone. Plus, spring decor, gifts, and all kinds of deliciousness. Rack up the deals today at your Nordstrom Rack store. What will you find?
Okay, everybody, welcome to the latest episode of All Too Real 2. My name is Michael E. Cullen II, and with me, as always, is...
It's sesame, egg salad, and carda.
Egg salad.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, something I've never had in my life.
It's okay.
Yeah. Eggs kind of upset my stomach a little, so I've never really had
Me
it. Me
too. I've realized that suddenly now I'm allergic to eggs.
Yeah. But
I don't know when that happened, but yeah.
Yeah. So, I just had a question for you.
Sure.
With a little statement after the question. So, my world's on fire. How about yours? That's the way I like it, and I'll never get bored.
I don't know what that is. What is that?
Well, hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on. Go play. Hey now, you're a rock star. Get the show on. Get paid. Anyways, with the world the way it is, that song just keeps popping in my head, that line. My world's on fire. How about yours?
That song is such an earworm.
Uh-huh.
We call it.
Yes.
It's one of those songs that you just can't miss. I mean, you just recognize it.
It's not to sound racist in any way whatsoever, but it's the song you put on because I'm a DJ. So like when I go to weddings, you put that on at a wedding full of white people, and they get down to that song, man. Yes.
It's just I don't know if I would. It's okay.
They just do for some reason. It's like that and Footloose and
God.
and Sweet Caroline. It's like they I hate
this song so much.
It's the weirdest shit. Like I don't know. There's a few other ones, but it's like it's the white people get down at a wedding song. Yeah. Sometimes some Blink-182 will do that to them too. It's just So
dance the Blink-182. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's like concert music. Like
white people do it, man, and I'm white.
I don't understand how you dance to a song that's not really dance worthy. It's not. I mean, I guess technically you could dance at a concert
if they're repetitive and have a beat, so people can dance to them. It's not going to be like something like I don't know, like one of these line dance songs or something that get people going. But but people will dance to the weirdest things. It's just strange. But anyways, so this week I've been going for walks, and my legs started hurting really bad, which kind of sucks. And it was hurting so bad when I was walking down this one road, this like alley sort of thing. I look over at this building. There's an awning above it, and out of the corner of my eye, I thought it said adult abortion. Yeah, it said adult probation. I just read it too fast. And when my leg was hurting, I was like, I could probably use an adult abortion right now on myself, because I was in so much pain. But yeah, pretty sure that's just, murder or suicide. I'm not really sure what an adult abortion would be, but that's what I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how my week's been going. Been having a lot of medical tests and stuff done, and gonna have a lot coming up. So I'm getting old, folks. So if you'd like to, I'm gonna say this up front, share our show, subscribe to our show, but most of all, if you can, check out our Patreon or our TeePublic, and maybe throw us a few bucks. It could help us out.
You have to support our financial, our whatever, I can't think of the word.
Our financial stability and our our ability to continue to produce this excellent program. That we can say it's like supported by viewers like you or listeners like you, like they do on PBS and public radio and stuff. So yeah,
totally.
Yeah. So, anyways, speaking of things that were like public services to the world, this week we are covering a sitcom that came out in 1991. It was definitely a sitcom. It definitely had words on paper that people delivered, and the concept, and there was a situation.
Yep. It was, all those things are true. It was definitely a show. It was put on film or video.
Yes.
Broadcast onto television networks.
Yes. It was on the Fox network, actually. Yeah.
That's right, because they had a commercial about Married with Children at one point, or announcement.
So yes, the show that we're covering is the short-loved too, I guess. Show Charlie Hoover. Like I said, came out in 1991. The episode we're covering is called Happy Birthday to Hugh. It was broadcast on November 9th, 1991. And the last episode, guess when that was aired?
Well, it had 7 episodes, so I'm thinking like December or something.
Yeah, December 29th.
Okay.
So yeah, the show was on just over a month. So yeah. And so show was created by Ian Gervitz. And it starred Tim Matheson as our titular character, Charlie Hoover, along with his crazy alter ego, which was like a 3-inch person named Hugh. Get it? It's like you, but it's Hugh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Played by Sam Kinison, the late great comic. Maybe great. I don't know. It depends on how you feel about him. He was okay.
Not a huge.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of his, but I mean, he did have some impact in the history of comedy, so I can't deny that.
I'm just not into like the screaming.
Yo, I know.
Yeah, equals humor just because you could scream. I'm not really into that.
I'm also not into the fact that he kind of perpetuated Mark Maron's drug habit back in the 80s.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, when Mark Maron was a doorman at the Comedy Store, and he was living in a building near the Comedy Store that was owned by Mitzi Shore, who owned the Comedy Store. Marin was living in there, but that was also his job was to set it up for the crazy parties that Sam Kinison would have there.
Oh wow!
In the place, and like one time, Kinison, I believe, shit on Mark's bed.
Oh.
Yeah, stuff like that. So, yeah. Go back and listen to the early episodes of WTF or anything like that, and I'm sure you'll anybody that's listening, you'll get some good stories about that. But also, we have in this episode Kevin McCarthy, not the Speaker of the House.
No, not that.
No, but the actor Kevin McCarthy.
Yeah, that would be a weird show.
I know.
Kevin McCarthy, the Speaker of the House.
Yes.
With Sam Kinison as his alter ego.
Yeah,
that would actually be an interesting.
Tim Matheson was the Charlie Hoover. Kevin McCarthy was Mr. Culberson, his boss. So
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy looked familiar. The dude who played Charlie, isn't he the guy that was in Evil? Like the Satanist
yeah, he's
dude?
in Evil. Tim Matheson. He's been in a million things.
Okay.
Yeah, he was in one of my favorite performances of his was where he played the supposed ex-husband of Carol Brady in a Very Brady sequel.
That's right.
Yeah. My favorite line is he's like, "I'm tripping with the Bradys."
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So yeah, he's been in a lot of things. He's been, he was in like I believe The Last Picture Show, West Wing, National Lampoon's Animal House, a lot of classics. So yeah. Anyways, that's our major cast. We do have like the family played. His son is played by Michael Manasseri, who people might know from the Weird Science TV show. You had Lucy Webb as Helen Hoover, his wife, and Leslie Kendall Dye as Emily Hoover, his daughter. And then his assistant Doris is played by Julie Hayden. So yeah, that's our main cast, really. So yeah, I didn't see like in future episodes we have a former guest of our podcast, Stuart Pankin. We didn't, get to these episodes, obviously.
Oh, okay.
He's in an episode. We also have Bill Maher in 4 episodes for some reason. A young Bill Maher,
Oh.
Sandy Hellberg, who is from Toledo in some episodes. In one episode, yeah. Interesting group of guest stars there. So
yeah.
So anyways, initial thoughts on this thing we watched.
I really did not like it. I was kind of bored.
Yeah.
I had to basically meditate while watching it just to let the time go by a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wasn't.
I got to the point halfway through watching it where I was playing a game on my phone. So
yeah, it just I don't know. It was boring. It wasn't. Oh God, yawning just from talking about it. Yeah, there wasn't a lot going on. It was just whatever.
Yeah, it was a typical Fox early '90s sitcom. I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. But you mentioned Married with Children. Prior to this, Sam Kinison had played, I believe, like an angel, sort of on a like It's a Wonderful Life sort of episode of Married with Children. And I bet you anything that's what gave them the idea to make this show.
Yeah, well, I mean, it would have to be. That's wild.
Yeah, and like the creator of the show, Ian Gervitz, he wrote on shows like, let's see here. Well, he was like an executive producer on Becker and the Tony Danza Show and Wings. Some decent sitcoms there. Yeah, Becker is awesome.
Becker. I love Becker.
He surprisingly did not write on Married with Children at all, but he wrote for Wonder Years, Get a Life with Chris Elliott, which is a good show. Frasier, Wings, Tony Danza, Becker, different things like that. So yeah,
I I don't even remember the Tony Danza show.
It was a short-lived show too. It was only like one season. Yeah, 1 or 2 seasons. Yeah. 14 episodes, so like 1 season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so yeah. Yeah, so we should get the premise out of the way first, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. So the basic premise of this is Tim Matheson as Charlie Hoover is like this middle management guy at a job that I don't know what the fuck he does because they never really. He works at an office.
Yeah, he's got his own office.
Yeah.
I guess he probably works in the higher echelons of it, I guess, or something like that.
Yeah, and he's wanted a promotion for a while. But on his 40th birthday, he all of a sudden gets this alter ego kind of voice in his head, kind of like a devil on your shoulder sort of thing of Sam Kinison as Hugh. Basically telling him that, he needs to basically not be such a pussy in the world, no offense.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, it's pretty much what he would say if they allowed.
Yeah,
that.
It was the cleaned up version of that for Sam Kinison. Yeah.
Yeah. The whole thing too, like an alter ego to me is like different than like seeing a miniature. Like to me, an alter ego is like it's just like a different part of your personality. It's not like
they
not like you're hearing a voice telling you to do something. It's just like different part of you, but whatever. That's nitpicking, I guess. But
yeah, I mean, this was right around the same time that Fox had the show Herman's Head, too. So that, which I really liked, but that's like this concept kind of done in a better way. Or in the future, like the WB was like Unhappily Ever After or something. With Bobcat Goldthwait playing the voice of like this bunny rabbit that was like the main guy's like conscience or whatever.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was kind of the same concept except for it was a puppet bunny rabbit.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like a middle-aged guy who just, yeah, Nikki Cox and some other people were in that show. It was a decent show, but it was created by some of the same people that created Married with Children. Weird concept for a show, don't get me wrong, but
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But it was kind of like basically that show was basically like Married with Children with a bunny puppet added in there, and you switched the personalities of the kids. The boy was the dumb one and the girl was the smart one. So yeah. So all right, guess we can go into the plot here.
Sure.
What little there is of it. This is going to be a short episode, folks. I know that from the outset, hopefully.
There's really not a lot going on here.
So yeah, basically what happens here?
Excuse me. So it's his 40th birthday. He's basically having like a midlife crisis because he wants to get promoted at his corporate job, which we don't know what it is. And when he goes to work, he starts noticing this dude who's like talking to him at Sam Kinison, and he's this quote alter ego. It's basically just trying to coax him into doing whatever he wants to do because he's too uptight or.
Oh yeah, and when he was at home too, though, like his kids basically kind of ignore him on his birthday, and they're just wanting him for his money.
Yeah, and pretty much his family sucks.
Yeah, and his dog even sucks. His dog pisses on his shoes.
Yeah, his dog pees on his shoes, so he's got to wear sneakers to work when he's wearing like a black suit, sneakers.
Which I don't really understand. I'm sure they were like leather shoes because most dress shoes are leather. Those could easily be wiped off in the sink or something.
Plus, too, he didn't have another pair of shoes, whatever. And then, and so, and then this guy's alter ego, which I'm not sure it's his alter ego. It's a part of him.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if he is liable for the numerous sex crimes that his alter ego commits throughout the episode. And so I don't know if that counts against him.
I think it's more I think basically what Hugh is representing is like that kind of like sinister part of your brain that that a lot of people, good people like suppress, and like sometimes you'll be like, somebody cuts you off in traffic, or is a jerk to you, and you're thinking, I should kill that guy, but because that that's wrong, you don't do that. But for that split second, sometimes you might think, hey, I wish that guy would get in an accident, or something, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But you don't actually do anything about it, or the part of you that like sees an attractive person and has like impure thoughts about them, but you don't act on them. But this part of your brain, if it was opened up, might actually do that, is what my feeling was based on this based on this episode, at least. So yeah.
So yeah. So Hugh committed multiple sex crimes throughout the episode in varying degrees of severity, and he also has a particular proclivity towards Scandinavian women, but I guess we all got other things, right? So and so he really wants this promotion. He tells the guy, whatever his name is, that's his name. Oh, Charlie, yeah.
Yeah, he's the title of the show. Yeah.
Title of the show, yeah. So he tells, to basically like demand the promotion from his boss, which, by the way, the promotion he's looking for is vice president of the company.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big promotion. And so, he goes in there and he demands that he get the job, and he gives an ultimatum that he's going to walk if he doesn't get the job. His boss commends him for being assertive, but he doesn't like ultimatums, so he fired him. And then he goes back home, and his family pretty much abandons him because they just don't care about him. I guess they just care that he's got money because, you quit your job or got fired.
Yeah.
Fuck. Apparently, yeah, great family. Maybe you should leave them and listen to the voice, or listen to Hugh. That's the other thing too.
Yeah.
Hugh had like a cane for some reason, or a stick. I thought they thought that would be funny or something.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know, whatever. It was kind of dumb,
or maybe Kinnison had some back problems at the time. I don't know, So,
it could be. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't know much about his health
No.
during our time period, but or any time period for that matter. And then he gets fired, and then he goes back to work, and then trying to beg for his job back, even though Hugh told him not to do so. They had this weird beat about egg salad sandwiches that lasted way too long, probably to fill time, I guess.
And then also Charlie, Hugh asked Charlie like his like big wish that he wants in life, and he's expecting some kind of like criminal type thing, and he just says he wants a boat.
Yeah, he wants to buy a boat,
and
then that's it.
Yeah,
he just wants to buy a boat. Like he doesn't even want to sail. He just said he wants a boat. I'm like, okay, I guess. That's the whole weird thing too about people who had this like fantasy of buying a boat and like sailing through the world. It's like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, do you know like how many accidents when you like literally sail the ocean?
Yeah, I mean, how difficult that would be. Like, I mean, I guess people do it, but it's like, yeah. But
well, it's super dangerous because you literally just have water, and then like how, like where you're gonna sail to?
Yeah,
I guess like around the coast. I guess that would be, a little bit more safe because you're still close to land. I guess.
But
somewhat.
I hate the water, but I guess the easier way would be like a cruise ship. But then again, we all know how the Titanic ended. So
yeah, no, totally. Or I mean, cruise ships are also, you get viruses spread real fast and stuff. There's so many people on board, in a close, quarters or whatever. And
all those people that died during the pandemic on the boats and stuff.
Oh God. Yeah, they were stuck on the boats and weren't allowed to leave.
Yeah.
I know, it's terrible. Like just infecting each other essentially. God, that was horrible. But I feel so bad for them. But,
I know.
But like, yeah, if you're like sailing across the ocean, like let's say, you're from, you're sailing from, the Pacific, you're gonna be sailing all the way to like Japan. or like Hawaii. That's a lot of ocean to get through, or
Yeah.
like the Atlantic all the way to like Spain or the UK or Africa. Like you're gonna die at halfway point, if not sooner. Like like
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to be able to get there in like the kind of boat that I'm picturing Charlie buying. So yeah,
no, he wants like a sailboat basically.
yeah,
I get.
or
And
a yacht or something. There's still, it's not going to get you to. Yeah,
and you could tell this is an early '90s show based on the fact that like a 40-year-old man was able to have a job that he did and then also feel inadequate at said job because he does not vice president.
yeah,
Whereas now, like 70 and 80-year-olds are like being like greeters at Walmarts. And it's just like,
Yeah.
a lot change in 32 years where like he feels inadequate at 40 because he's not vice president of a corporation.
I'm thinking the modern like HBO or Netflix version of the show would be about a guy working at a Walmart as a greeter.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and basically Hugh comes up and basically tells him to burn down the Walmart.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
That's where it would go.
It would. No, you're right.
Because it
would-
basically be like, he wouldn't be wanting to be like, because the thing is honestly, if you want to move up in Walmart, don't. There's no benefit, in my opinion, to actually
there's no
becoming
moving
management.
up.
Yeah, it's like, no.
It's
Or any retail. Yeah.
you pretty much have to step over or on other people to get there.
Yeah. And you have
You
to
know,
learn
they're
you have to
bad.
learn how to be an asshole right away, because
Yeah.
I've seen it happen when I work in retail, like where, people that were the nicest people in the world when they were just my coworker all of a sudden become management and they're assholes. So it's like, yeah.
It's totally
Mhm.
yeah. So this guy, he basically the guy rehires him, and then he thinks like, okay, now I got my job back. But then he was like, no, it's not good enough. You need to. And at one point, you commits another sex crime because he'd already committed various ones of varying severity, where he's got binoculars and he's like looking down against the Scandinavian women that he's got a special fetish for, I guess.
See,
And
that's the other thing. In 90s sitcoms, there was always somebody attractive getting naked in another building, unless it's Friends, where you had the
oh
like
yeah,
the fat naked guy or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah.
yeah, it was always. And then so then at one point, he's looking up the skirt of Charlie's
Assistant. Yeah.
assistant, who apparently she's got like a crush on or a thing for, I guess, and that was the whole thing with that.
Yeah, I'm sure that would go somewhere in the other episodes that I'm not going to watch.
Yeah, because at one point you're like, yeah, I'm not gonna watch them either. No, I'm not gonna watch 6 extra episodes.
Yeah,
of
but
the show.
if anybody listening to this and they watched the first one, the link that I'm going to share with people, if they contact me to get a link to it, and the place you can watch this is on YouTube. Somebody uploaded one video that has all 7 episodes.
See the entire series in one video.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even time stamped, so you can't even. You know what? I might actually do that. No, I'm not going to do that. That
No.
takes so much time.
Yeah.
But like I'm not going to waste my time doing that.
No, because
Like,
I mean, so you basically, you can't like skip to episode 3 or something. Like if you were choosing to watch this in several sittings, I mean, I guess, usually you can start where you left off on videos on YouTube, but but sometimes that'll screw up, and then you just have to fast forward to the video, and
I might do a timestamp. I'm being stupid, but like, then like make fun of the show as I'm doing it, make a comment.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he gets the promotion because he goes back again for the second time to yell at his boss, demanding to be promoted, and this time he actually relents. And then he comes back and like really dances pretty aggressively with his assistant. He's spinning her around and shit.
Yeah.
And at one point she's like touching his chest with her hand, pretty much flirting with them.
Yeah,
and
she's like swooning and stuff. Yeah.
And then he's like, "Oh, call my wife for me." And then she's like, "Oh, okay," And then, but yeah, Hugh, looks up her skirt, so that's a sex crime right there. And technically he should already be committing several misdemeanors, if not felonies, at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I guess at this point, though, nobody else can see Hugh except for Charlie. So
no, my whole thing
is that it brings up the thing is like if a tree falls in the forest and no one's around, does it make a sound? But so like if a 3-inch guy commits a crime and no one can see it but one guy, did he really commit the crime?
Right. My whole thing though is if Hugh is looking up her skirt,
yeah,
does Charlie
see it
through like a weird like metaphysical way?
Yeah,
or is it just I don't get it.
I don't either. I don't think the writers thought it through either. So
other than just being super weird and creepy,
they're like we need some creepy things for Sam Kinison to do in this episode.
Well, just not only that, just 1991, like old shows. You rewatch them. I didn't rewatch. I never even heard this until like days ago. But I was just literally looking through TV pilots. I found a playlist, and that was one of them. And I'm like, okay, this is probably gonna be stupid, but all right, let's try it. And didn't know anything about the show at all. I just picked it based on that alone. And then he goes out and hangs out the window again because he likes to sit outside.
Yeah.
Of a window, like really high up.
Yeah.
Why do people do that in old shows? Like, I don't think anyone who had jobs like that actually did anything like that. Would just sit outside.
Well, and it's like in sitcoms and even dramas and stuff that take place in like bigger cities like New York or Los Angeles or Chicago or something, they'll hang out on the roof too a lot.
I don't get it.
I've seen things. I mean, I even saw the other day. I mean, this guy wasn't hanging out there, but I was walking down in the small town I live in, and there was a guy just hanging out on the roof, like smoking a cigarette.
Yeah,
on this building, but this was only like I'd say like 4 stories high, so it's not like like you see people just hanging out, on top of a building that's like 60 stories high or something, and you're just like, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just
it
was a bizarre show. Was not a fan of it.
No,
I didn't really think it was that funny.
It's definitely very dated. And I could see why maybe people at the time might have liked it, but obviously they didn't like it enough because it only lasted 7 episodes. They supposedly filmed 13, but the other ones have not seen the light of day. So
no, someone should uncover them.
Yeah,
put them up on YouTube, or the same person make one video of 13.
Yeah,
so a 5-hour video.
Did you want to hear a review or two of this?
Sure.
Okay, so here is one from the Internet Movie Database. This is from so far back it doesn't have a rating. It's just a review. It doesn't have a star rating.
Oh, wow.
It's from 2003, March 16th. So, right before St. Patrick's Day. So back in the day, all of our reviews were all from around the holidays. So, yeah,
I've noticed that. It's really interesting. I think it's because they just got free time and they're looking for weird things to watch or whatever.
And their headline for this is somebody named the Nexus One. Their headline is "A True Comedy That Never Got the Chance to Fly." Charlie Hoover was the awarding accomplishment of Sam Kinison. That sentence doesn't make any sense. Okay. After fighting addictions with drugs and alcohol, he redefined himself and put his life back in order. Due to his wild lifestyle, it wasn't until 1991 that Kinison was finally able to get a network to back him in a show. Finally, after going the distance, Fox put Sam Kinison in Charlie Hoover. He played the deep inner voice of Tim Matheson's character Charlie, who was pushed around in life. Kinison was portrayed as a 3-inch tall figment of Charlie's depressed and downtrodden psyche. It was pure chemistry as Sam played the part to the letter. He was that inner voice screaming for bloody vengeance in a comedic way. pushing Charlie to stand up for himself against his coworkers and especially his mother-in-law. I guess that happens in future episodes. The power of the series was cut short tragically when Sam Kinison was killed in an auto accident. They're remembering it wrong because Sam wasn't killed until 92 and the show ended in 91. Anyways, yeah, so was killed in an auto accident, which many would call vehicular homicide. He gave so much to the comedy world, shaping the way stand-up comedians perform uncensored. This was a great show, and I can only hope that it will be placed on DVD to be seen by new generations who didn't grow up hearing Sam's distinctive scream. Yeah,
Hey. No.
Yeah, because, like, Sam... I'm just going to make sure on this. He died April 10th of 1992.
Okay.
So the show was already canceled by then.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, yeah,
so
your timeline.
His death had nothing to do with the cancellation of the show. So
maybe he just wants to believe it did because he liked so much.
And if the show was doing well, at that time, Fox would retool things a lot. And even if Sam had died and the show was doing well, they would have found a way to work around it and keep Tim Matheson and his family in the show and maybe just get rid of Hugh or bring in a new character or something, you know? They would do something.
Oh, yeah, totally. They would, or like just drop the whole character itself and just
make it about Tim Matheson, about Charlie, and yeah.
Right, kind of like that whole thing where it was like Natalie's family or something like that.
No, Valerie's family. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was originally Valerie, then Valerie's family, and then the Hogan family.
Just
had three different names. And I mean, there was even like there was the show that Matthew Perry was in where his older self came from heaven or something.
Yes. Oh, what was it called? It was
I can't remember. Yeah, I need to watch that, but like halfway through the series, they just decided to get rid of the older version of Matthew Perry's character.
Okay.
And then focus on and got rid of some other characters too, and then just make it a typical sitcom about some, like, you know, teenage boys causing mayhem, and one of them being like kind of like the snooty one or something. You know, it was
kind of amazing that they could just like,
and they changed the name of the show too and everything, but it was the same characters, just in a different show.
That's just like messed up. They could just literally just change the story of a show.
Yeah.
It's like
it's been done a lot, sadly.
Yeah, it's just messed up that people just went along with it. Like, yeah, well, whatever.
I mean, I guess it had to suck for the guy playing the older Matthew Perry. We'll have to find that show and maybe watch the pilot if we can find it anywhere, and then like the first episode after they get rid of the old guy.
Right. Yeah, I remember sharing a link to it once just because of the theme song. Or I didn't. I was like, oh my god, Matthew Perry was like in the show and he was like really young, like super young, like probably like 20 years old or something like that, or even younger. And
it was called
Second Chance.
Yeah, it was Second Chance. And this was on Fox as well. So this was in 1987. From September 26th till November 28th, 1987, it was called Second Chance. The series was then revamped under the new title Boys Will Be Boys, and ran in a new format from January 16th to May 14th of 1988. So, yeah.
And then he was in Friends starting 1994.
Yeah. I think he did another show or two in between, too, or something. But yeah, it's, just really weird that they just decide to change the whole concept of the show.
Yeah, it's just like, it's super bizarre. I guess it's better than Matt LeBlanc's early career doing a Heinz ketchup commercial.
He was also, sorry, we're going off on a tangent here, people.
Yeah,
but
that's fine.
He was also on a Fox show.
Oh my god!
That was a
really?
spin-off of Married with Children. It was called Top of the Heap.
Interesting.
And here's another thing. So it focused on there was like these two minor Married with Children characters that he and Joseph Bologna played. They were a father and son who had like all these like get rich schemes that they would do and stuff like that. So for 7 episodes, that's what the show was about. And then they decided to retool the show and call it Vinny and Bobby, get rid of the dad, and focus on Vinny, who was Matt LeBlanc's character, and his friend Bobby.
Okay.
Yeah, and basically it was set in Chicago. The series centers on Vinny, a construction worker, and his roommate Bobby, who share the same apartment, and it was kind of like a, maybe early precursor to something like Friends or sort of stuff, and it had Joey Lauren Adams and Fred Stoller and other people in it. But yeah, it was another one of those shows that they just halfway through decided to change the concept. So it's been done. It's been done several times. So.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't think I'm gonna read any more reviews. Any final thoughts here on Charlie Hoover?
Nope. No thoughts.
Yeah.
None.
Well, I have the thought that it was one of the shows that we've watched for this podcast.
Yes, that's accurate.
Of all of the shows we've watched for this podcast, this was one of them.
That's an accurate assessment.
And of all of the shows we've watched for this podcast, this one had people in it.
Yes.
And that's about how I feel about that.
Yes.
Yes.
You are correct.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, folks, be safe out there. A lot of weird shit going on in the world right now. Every day it feels like it's one of these like science fiction movies or something going on.
Mm-hmm.
You never know. I mean, we can be happy that Pat Robertson died recently and is probably hanging out with Jerry Falwell in hell, and being punished by Beelzebub or something, and not hurting homosexuals and other people in the world anymore.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. And if you don't like that, I don't care. And
yeah.
But folks, check out our TeePublic and our Patreon if you feel like it. If you feel like it, share the show with your friends. Go to all2real2.com and you can find all the links to where we are and all that stuff, all the links to all the different podcast platforms and to our social media platforms and our platform heels that we wear sometimes, and wait, what? So anyways, until next time, folks, just remember that I love you, Sesame loves you, and bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to All Too Real 2 podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Hawes. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.